Good evening, my dear friends. Tonight's blog is called The Power of Forgiveness. And I'm going to do my best to actually chat with you guys because I have this thing where I'm trying to multitask here. So I'm going to do the best that I can. I wanted to talk about the power of forgiveness because I know that it's a really, really big issue with a lot of people. And I have a lot of experience with this myself. I have had to forgive a lot of people. I've had to forgive myself. And so I really think, hi Joe, don't say hey hun. You know that's one of my issues. Isidro, you need to just wait on that shower, okay? Okay, see, now I'm chatting live with you guys. I know how to interact with your comments. So, I'm going to try to get through this while speaking. Hi Larry, thanks for joining. So the power of forgiveness, and you will hear a lot of what you heard before and what you have heard before, but I want you to understand the importance. Hi, Eric. So the reason why it's really important to forgive people is not for the other person, but it's for yourself. And a lot of you live your life with this heavy burden. You live your life with a chip on your shoulder. And you have this ugliness feeling about things, and you're not 100% happy like you should be because you have held on to things from the past. Things that somebody has done to you, has said to you, and hurt you. And I'm trying to do this blog because I want you to learn to let it go. And it is for you, and it's not for them. And the reason being is this. When you hold a grudge on somebody for something that they have done, you are giving them your negative energy. You're giving negative energy to yourself, but you're spewing that out, and you're giving them a lot of power by not forgiving those people. And so I would like to give you some ideas and thoughts on how to get past that. So for instance, if you have had a family member, if you had a loved one or whatever, and they've done some pretty horrible things to you, I want you to meditate on letting that go, and I want you to recognize what happened to you, because I think a lot of us don't let go of the ugliness and the past things that have happened to us because we haven't acknowledged it, and you haven't even approached this person. So sometimes you just live with this grudge, and you haven't even told the person why. You haven't even explained to them, hey, the reason why I don't come around, or the reason why I don't really like you, is because back in 2010, you said that I was fat and ugly, or whatever. I'm being facetious. Yes, and Lauren Browning, love you, girl. That is so true. The biggest gift, one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself, is to forgive somebody else, because it sets you free. And back to what I was saying, when you approach somebody and even explain it, it's like your brain is acknowledging that it happened. Yes, it happened. Will they agree with you? They may not. And they may not give you the answer that you want. And you need to get that through your head, that sometimes the forgiveness is about letting go and being okay with the answer that you get. A lot of us are looking for validation. But remember, you did this. And remember, you don't understand how much you hurt me. They might be kind of messed up. Those people may not ever acknowledge that they hurt you, even though sometimes they do know, but they'll never acknowledge it. And you have to get past that. You have to be like, okay, I know what happened. I know what's in my heart, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to decide to move forward with my life. Now, a lot of you are like, but you don't understand what this person did to me. They're evil, and there are all kinds of level of evil things that people do to other people. But what I want you to understand is that you don't have to forget. I'm not saying you have to forget, because there's a lot of people who have hurt me, and I don't forget a lot of those things, but I can't live my life day to day, like just holding that grudge. I don't have time for that. What the past is in the past. It's what happened. You may not agree. I may not agree on how it all went down. You might still think I'm wrong. I might think that you're still a jerk, but I don't have time to dwell on you and what you did to me. My mom always gave me the greatest advice when there was this one hood rat a long time ago. You see, I haven't forgiven her because I keep calling her a hood rat. That's hilarious. This one girl who, we were in I worked with her. She was a coworker, and she was horrible to me. I mean, a complete biatch. Just biatch. Just one of those. And I would talk about her all the time to my mom. And it was like, oh, do you know this girl? She did this today, and she did that today, and blah, 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 blah. And I can't stand her. And my mom was like, you know, you're really giving this girl a ton of your energy. And while she's at home probably sleeping real well tonight and just, you know, dozing off, you're over here spewing this hatred and this energy toward her. And you really need to just let it go, because she doesn't care about you. You're the last thing on her mind. And for some reason, she's the only thing on your mind all day long. And so that was one of the first times when I realized I need to forgive this girl and I need to just move on with my life. Nobody is perfect. The Soul Ross. I didn't go to Soul Ross, Jason. Way to go. See how much you pay attention. So there's also been times where a family member has hurt me in many ways emotionally, and I love this person, and it hurts the most from the people that you love. When the people you love hurt you, that's one of the worst types of pain. And so it's hard to live without forgiving them. You cannot live with somebody that you have not forgiven. And you have to remember, this is very important for married couples. How can you be married and live in a happy marriage if you haven't even forgiven them for the minor things, or maybe even the huge things that they've done to you? I'm a firm believer. I've never been married, so you can throw rocks at me if you want to. That a good marriage is really heavily based on being able to forgive each other constantly for the bad and the mistakes that people have made towards each other, because nobody is perfect. But what was my point on that? So letting go of the things that people, so the loved ones that have hurt me. Loved one that have hurt me, but I love this person and they're very close to me, and I cannot see my life without them. And so I have chosen to forgive that person because it's more peaceful in my heart, in my mind, for me to forgive that person than to just be everyday punishing them. And by the way, for those of you who keep punishing people, however you think you're punishing them for whatever they did to you, you're not God. Because I used to do that. I had an ex that I would just be like, if you're going to be with me because you screwed me over, then I'm going to do this every day of your life, and I'm going to make it miserable. I'm not God. I am not the ultimate judge. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to be giving that much energy to somebody and just constantly be judging them every day if I decide to stay into this relationship. What is the point of being with somebody if you're not even able to forgive them and move on? When somebody has done something to you that bad, you need to break up with them and you need to move on with your life, because it'll help you, it'll help your soul, and it'll help that person be able to move on and get on with the journey that they were also meant to have. You can't be in this relationship miserable because you haven't let go of what they did to you. And yeah, it does take time and it does take trust to be able to rebuild some things, but I still feel like people are in a relationship and treating the others like crap just because they feel like they deserve that because of what they did to them. That's not a way to live either. I decided in that relationship that I was in, when this person hurt me so much, I was like, you know what? I'm just mean and I'm just a biatch, and like, what is the point of us even being together if that's all I can do? At this point, I just can't move on. I need to forgive this person, say, God bless you. You were here for a reason. You were here for a season. Let's part ways, because I can't live my life just hating you. The same thing. So if you have to stay in a relationship because it's a family member that you love the most, one of the tips that I do is I constantly forgive them. So let's just, I don't know how to do an example without somebody calling me out like, you're talking about so-and-so. Let me give you an example. So it's a person that, let's just say it's an uncle that's a bully, and you know that he's a bully and he's a jerk and he says some crazy things, but you love your uncle and he's been there from the very beginning for you, and you know that he has a really big heart. Those are the kind of relatives that you know that you love and you can't see your life without them. You have to forgive them on a daily basis. Oh Lord, Uncle Joe just said that I look super fat today. Oh, that's just Uncle Joe. Now, acknowledge how you feel, and you can say, Uncle Joe, I just want to talk to you real quick. remember that one time I was eating a taco and you said that I look kind of chunky? That really hurt my feelings because you're acknowledging that and he might say, that's not what I said. I never said, okay, he might go through that, but you are doing it for yourself because you have to acknowledge it. You have to communicate that it hurt your feelings. And after that conversation is had, you are letting it go. And guess what? You will be able to sleep at night. There is nothing more powerful than peace of mind. There's nothing more powerful than knowing, you know what, this person screwed me over, but I'm good because I've let it go. I've acknowledged it. It is what it is, and I have to move on with my life. I can't live with this ugliness in my heart. I can't live with this chip on my shoulder. And a lot of you live like that with that ugly chip on your shoulder, and you don't even know where it's coming from. Oh, my computer. And I can tell. So when I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're constantly like hating, like, oh, this and nagging and just, you can't talk, you can't even have a full conversation with them when they're just spewing hatred. It's because they have a lot of ugliness in their heart and they haven't forgiven themselves and they haven't forgiven people and they've got major issues. And I can call it. I'm like, man, this poor person has some ugly demons that they've got to deal with. They've got some forgiveness that needs to happen. But I cannot tell you how beautiful life is when you're able to just move on and just dump whatever that feeling is, write it down, get it on a piece of paper and throw it in the trash or burn it and never look back, because your life will be so much happier, so much better when you can just forgive somebody. None of us are perfect. People will make mistakes. You will hurt people. You will make mistakes. And wouldn't you want somebody to forgive you? Let me see what the comments are. I see Yusuf going off over here. Yusuf! Let me see. My computer's not updating enough. Here, I'm trying to multitask. Anyway, well, I can't see. So now I wanted to also talk to you guys about forgiving yourself. And forgiving yourself is a hard one, and a lot of us don't even know that we've held grudges on each other. Jesus. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a personal story that happened to me, about me, and I've shared this with several people, is when I got pregnant. I got pregnant at a time when I was not in a relationship with somebody, but it was a person I had been in a relationship, and we broke up, and then I found out I was pregnant. And so that point in my life, I was so devastated to find out that I was pregnant. I was just, there was like the worst news you could have ever given me at that point in my life. It was like telling me I was going to die. Like, that's, for somebody selfish and young at that age, I was like, no way. This is not what I want. This is not what I had planned for my life. And so in going through that pregnancy, it was almost like I was so mad at myself that I started to subconsciously punish myself. And I didn't realize this till much later, but I would work even harder and I would not give myself any breathing room, or I wouldn't allow myself to have fun, or I wouldn't allow myself a break. And because I felt like I didn't deserve it. And so when you're a mom and you're doing your day-to-day with your kid, I'd be like, oh man, I could really go to the spa right now. No, I told myself, you can't go to the spa and you can't go get your nails done and you cannot sit down and rest. You know why? Because you were the one who decided to have this baby. You were the one who made the mistake. You wanted to have sex. You wanted to do this. You wanted to do that. Now you're going to pay the price, and I don't want to see you cry about it. That's how I would talk to myself, and I would treat myself subconsciously like this. As if I would get home and want to take a break and say, no, get up, get up, get up. Nope, no breaks for you, because this is what you did, and you have to pay the price. So I really had to, in my little journey here, forgive myself. And you know what? Having my daughter was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. She is a blessing. She's wonderful. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you for your kind words. I can't imagine my life without that little girl. So can you imagine if I were to go back and erase all that, erase the decision that I made erase the person that I had Ava with, man, I'm just so grateful. I'm so thankful to God that He provided me the opportunity and the learning experience to go through this. So there was no need for me to punish myself. And I don't know why. So I have to forgive myself. Sam, yes, you made a mistake, but out of that mistake came a beautiful, beautiful little girl. And there's people on this earth who could only dream of being a mom. And I got that blessing. That was the lesson I had to learn, but that was also the blessing that I got out of that lesson. So I just forgave myself, and I was like, you know what? It happens. Lots of people do it. You're not the first one. You're not the first single mom. You're not the first one to have a child out of wedlock. Let's move on with life, people. You've got a lot to accomplish. You've got a lot of lives to change. You've got a lot of people to help. Move on. And I want you guys to think about that too. Sometimes you sit there and hate the past, and you hate like, oh, why did that happen? And I can't believe that. And why did I do that? And you dwell on it and dwell on it, when in fact, that was the exact journey that the Lord put you on. That is the exact thing that God wanted you to do. Sometimes He puts those little mistakes for us to make on purpose, because He wants you to learn from them, and then He wants you to be blessed from them. And then He wants you to bless somebody else from your lesson as well. So think about it like this. If you were, I don't know, let's just say somebody was an abused child. Okay, let's go that deep. You were an abused child, but you grew up and you were able to realize what had happened to you, and you were able to forgive and move on, and then you become the director of a nonprofit. You become a volunteer at a nonprofit, and you were able to help change lives because you can relate to that situation, because you went through that heartache and you were able to move on. You were able to become a better person out of that experience. Would you go and you were able to make a tremendous difference in other people's lives because of that? Would you go back and take it back? I don't think you would. I think you'd say, okay, God, man, that was painful. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But it happened to me, and it happened to me for a reason. And the Lord is asking me to use this to bless somebody else and to make a difference, not to repeat history. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate it. I just want to help, so I really hope that this helps. And so forgive yourself and accept the past, because if those things hadn't happened, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. If I hadn't gone through what I went through in my relationship, I wouldn't have Ava. I wouldn't have my Ava Grace, and she's the best thing that ever happened to me. Changed me a lot for the better. And as far as her dad, I had to forgive him a long time ago. How could I raise my daughter if I have this ugliness and this hatred with him? The best thing for Ava is for her father and I to be good friends, to be respectful. Do I have to be BFFs with the dude? No. Do I gotta be like all up in his business and he's having? No. She just needs to know that there is peace in this household. She needs to know that there's peace in the relationship that she has with her father. But that's it. That's all I got to worry about. And the reason that I can live happily and have fun with my daughter is because I don't hold the grudge. Do you know how easily I could open that door when he comes to pick her up and be like, yeah, whatever. You know, a lot of you guys do that to people who have hurt you. And you're the one who's suffering because you've got all that negative energy, man. Who has time for that? All I can do is wish him well. And I wish him well all the time, because if he's well, then my daughter is also well. If he's doing good in life and succeeding and all that, well, then that benefits her. It has nothing to do with me. So you guys have to keep that in mind. Think bigger picture. Yusuf. Okay. And it's so funny, Yusuf, because I can hear your little voice when you do that. So again, think about the people who have hurt you, or think about the circumstance. Think about what you have done in the past to forgive yourself, and just meditate and let it go. Now, there was something else. The peace of mind is priceless, and I wanted to tell you guys that. There is no other peace than when you lay down at night and you have no heartache, no grudges, no chip on your shoulder, it's like an ugly feeling, and I know what it's like. When you forgive them and you just let it go. that peace of mind. I want you all to think about that, and I want you to practice it. It's not easy. So for instance, like I was saying, I'm going to go back, the loved one that just drives me nuts, but I love them to death, and I cannot live without this person in my life, but they've hurt me so much, and they like, ugh, you know, it's just, ugh, how do I deal with this? I forgive them every day. So when they do something, say something mean, I instantly acknowledge it and say, hi, hello, you hurt me. This is not right. You will not treat me like this. Can we acknowledge that? Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Okay, great. Let's move on. Okay. And then continue doing it. Now, if you're in a relationship where somebody's just straight up abusive, you know what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say get the hell out. Don't even go there with the emotional and the whatever abuse. But if this is somebody you love and you know has a good heart, and you know that they love you too, they're just imperfect, just like you are, forgive them and move on, because you don't know when your last day on earth is. It could be tonight, it could be tomorrow. And what is the number one thing people say? It's like, what would you have done if you had more time on earth, or you had more time with your loved one on earth when they were here? They say, oh, I would have asked for forgiveness, or I would have told them how I really felt, or I would have told them I love them. Don't be that person who lives life. I'm not going to call them because they need to be the first one to call me. They need a blah, blah, blah. No, that's not true. You're not giving them power. You're not having them one up you just because you made the phone call first. Just because you were the first one to initiate the conversation. It has nothing to do with it. You don't understand. When I'm talking to somebody and I'm forgiving them, this is all for me, baby. This is for me to be like, I'm done with you. Goodbye. God bless. And guess what? I don't have to think about you anymore. I really don't. Now, if I really love you and I want you in my life, well, I do have to think about you, but it's okay because I've already moved on. And we can move on together. And that's true. Holding a grudge only hurts you. And in the long run, it doesn't do anybody good. And it really hurts. It really hurts. But don't be one of those people that just walks around just messed up and mad and holding grudges at the world. I guarantee that's not a way to live. And remember, I always say this in every blog. Life is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. And so you have to build that life for yourself. And the only way you can do that is by letting go. And accepting people for who they are. Accept it. Are they messed up, twisted, just ugly people? Yes, but I love them. And you know what? I can't live my life without them. And I'm going to accept that person for who they are. And I'm going to move on. Move on from the past. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. There's something else I wanted to say. Okay, yeah. Remove those heavy burdens. Just get rid of them. I mean, you guys have heavy stuff on your heart, and you've got to move on and use that experience to your advantage. Use that experience to learn and bless somebody else from what you've gone through. It all happened for a reason. There is a song that I would like to end tonight's conversation with, and if you haven't heard this song, I'm going to go ahead and leave it in the comments. It's by Matthew West. He's a great Christian artist. And yes, holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Look at that, Yusuf. 10, 20 points. No, I'm going to give you 30 points for Yusuf. Let me repeat that. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You're only hurting yourself. And I want you guys to be able to set yourself free. So, Forgiveness by Matthew West. If you get a chance, listen to this entire song. So good. And it talks about forgiveness and the power of it. And you will dramatically see your life change when you're able to forgive somebody and forgive yourself. I want to read to you the chorus lyrics. And it goes like this. Well, let me find the part first. Okay, here it goes. And this song, Forgiveness, is a man or woman crying out to God. Like, how could I do this? This is almost impossible. So, it says, forgiveness. Show me how to love the unlovable. Show me how to reach the unreachable. Help me now to do the impossible. Forgiveness. And then it says, I want to finally set it free. So show me how to see what your mercy sees. Help me now to give what you gave to me. Forgiveness. Those are some powerful lyrics, people. I cannot wait to put this song into the comments because I know that it will help some of you sleep very well tonight. Think about it, and if you need any advice, let me know. Let me know. I'm always here. You guys know you can always inbox me, message me. I'm always praying for everybody. But I just wanted to share this because, again, I'm not perfect. I've had to forgive a ton of people, but I also had to forgive myself. Man, I am my own worst enemy. A lot of us are. So be blessed. Know that you can move on. You can free yourself from this burden. That's what, that's already been taken care of you by the man upstairs. He's already taken care of all your burdens, all your pain, and you don't need to rehash it. It's already done. It's gone. It's a thing of the past. God bless. I hope this was a blessing. And if you find that you enjoy these video blogs, or if you have any feedback for me, feel free to let me know. I'm trying to work on bettering these things. I have a YouTube channel. You can see the other videos at youtube.com/heartfiremedia210. youtube.com/heartfiremedia210. Please share. Please share these videos because I know that they can help somebody out there right now who's looking to have some answers. Richard, you did miss it, bro, but I'm going to go ahead and export this and I will upload it on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Gosh, it's already 10 o'clock. I hope you have a good night and be blessed. Peace.